Hello friends, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss the price to earning ratio, popularly known as P ratio. P ratio is one of the important parameter in the fundamental analysis, and investor use it to identify the opportunity to buy the share. It is often used by the investors to compare the two stocks in the same industry, and we can find out that the stock is expensive or it is cheaper on the basis of P ratio. That is, P ratio compares the price of the particular stock to the earning of that share. So, friends, today we are going to discuss the meaning of P ratio, uses of P ratio, then its calculation, interpretation of P ratio, and its types in at the end. So let us start with the formal definition. What is P ratio? The full form of P ratio is price to earning ratio. The name of this title itself suggests that the P ratio is the relative comparison between share price and its earning. So, the price to earning ratio is the ratio for valuing a company that measures its current share price relative to its per share earning. The price to earning ratio is also sometimes known as the price multiple or the earnings multiple. Price to earning ratio is used for valuing a company on the basis of the current share price and its relative per share earning. So this ratio shows us the relative comparison between the share price and its per share earning. What are the uses of P ratio? P ratio helps investor to determine the market value of a stock as compared to the company's earning. On the basis of company's earning, and the investor can determine the market value of the stocks, it is cheaper or it is expensive. In short, the P ratio shows what the market is willing to pay today for the stock based on its past or future earning. Means what price they are ready to pay on the basis of its past performance in case of earning and future estimated earning. How can we calculate the P ratio? P ratio is equal to price per share divided by earning per share. Price per share means uh, it is a last traded price, means the price which is going on in the market. And earning per share means earning per share calculated as net profit divided by number of equity shares. So what is net profit? Net profit is equal to, or we can define net profit as profit after tax, that is PAT, profit after tax, divided by number of shares, the total number of shares of in the market of the company. So this is the EPS. If we get EPS, that is per share earning, then we can uh, put into this above formula P ratio and we can calculate P ratio. We don't have to calculate manually because most of the many websites offer it ready-madely, and the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange websites also depicts under the name of particular share or under the name of particular company. Let us discuss with the example. Again, I revise it. P ratio is equal to price per share divided by earning per share, and earning per share is equal to net profit divided by number of shares. So net profit is equal to PAT, profit after tax. Let us discuss, take the example. A company has profit, suppose 4 lakh, and number of shares are 40,000. If we calculate EPS, net profit, that is 4 lakh divided by number of shares, 40,000 is equal to 10. So the earning per share is 10. Now suppose the share price of a company is 100, and if we divide it by the earning per share, that is 10, then we get the ratio 10 divided by 1. So what is the meaning of this? This means that to earn 1 rupee, the investor or buyer of the particular stock is ready to pay 10 rupees, a 10 time price. So it shows that the investor is ready to pay 10 times more than earning per share for that particular stock. So lower P ratio means share is cheap, and high P ratio means stock is expensive. It is just one parameter to identify this, and we should not depend on only this parameter. We should check all the parameters. So what is the meaning of cheap and expensive? So there is no such specific rule or thumb rule what should be the ideal P ratio, or there is not such a thumb rule that below this limit the P ratio is lower, or above this limit the P ratio is higher. So P ratio, the stock is expensive or cheap, we cannot decide on the P ratio. There is no ideal rule such that if the P ratio is below 15, then stock is cheap. If it is above the 15, then it is stock is expensive. So what we should do, we can compare it with two parameters. Number one is the other competitors P ratio. That is, suppose we are going to discuss the example. Suppose if you are considering the Infosys, then what is the P ratio of Infosys and the other competitor of the Infosys? Say Tata Consultancy Services, or say the Wipro. So you can compare the P ratio of Infosys with other competitor of that company. And second thing is that is the with industry average. So the if Infosys is belong to the IT company, then what is the P ratio of full industry? That is the average ratio of all the competitor in that particular industry. So we can compare it with other competitors of the company or share, and also we can compare with the industry average where these company belong to. Now take the example that TCS and Infosys. I have taken the parameters of dated 3rd March 2021. So TCS, I have highlighted here the here mentioned TTM I will tell you later on. Consider it is a P ratio. So if you take the P ratio of Infosys, first company is Infosys, and last is TCS. So what is the P ratio of Infosys? It is 29.89. If you compare it with sector P, then sector P means the industry P, where this company belong to, means where Infosys company belong in the IT sector. So the P of IT sector is 32. means it is the P ratio of Infosys is less than sector P, means it is below the industry average. If we take the example of TCS, then I have highlighted here TTM, that is the trailing 12-month P ratio. We are going to discuss later on what is this TTM. So consider the P ratio is 36 in case of TCS, and it is more than 32, that is the sector P. So sector P is 32 and the TCS have more P ratio, that is 36.12. So what conclusion we can do or we draw? We can take the conclusion from this discussion that the Infosys have lower P ratio compared to TCS, but here we cannot decide that the Infosys on the basis of P ratio we can say that the Infosys have lower P ratio, means the Infosys have the cheap, it is compared to TCS, it is cheap, we are getting at a cheap price, and TCS is little bit expensive. So but one things you should keep in mind that the only on the basis of P ratio we cannot decide it is a cheap or it is a expensive, because the TCS is expensive, maybe it has that much premium or it has that much quality, so it is the it gets the benefit of the brand value. So the brand value, then the quality of stocks, why people are ready to pay such a high price, that is also considering thing. And suppose if the P ratio is lower, means the stock is corrected, and why corrected, or corrected means why the price of stock decreased. Recently one thing happened that in case of Infosys, one news came, and that news was vessel blowing. Vessel blowing means the person who is in the system, uh, who says that something is wrong going on in the company. So one whistle blowing thing came out in the news, and it was saying that the Infosys have artificially increased their numbers. Number means the results, and they have shown the higher profit than actual. So this, when this news came, then the stock price corrected, means the stock price decreased. So such things can happen. So when you think of P ratio and comparison of P ratio, you should also check the other fundamental parameters and other things, the company analysis, overall company analysis, and then only you can decide the stock is cheap or it is costly. So what are the types of P ratio? uh, the P ratio is cheaper, means should we buy it? Answer is no, because if bad news is there, as I have discussed with you, if bad news is there or any other fundamentals of the company are not good, then stock may become cheap as compared to other competitor. Higher P ratio means it is expensive, but it shows the people find the quality product and ready to buy it even it is expensive. So while taking the buying decision on the basis of P ratio, we must cautious about other fundamentals and company analysis. So P ratio is one of the parameter of fundamental analysis and totally don't depend on this P ratio. But it is important parameter, can be considerable with other all the parameters. What are the types of P ratio? There are primarily two types of P ratio which investor take into consideration. Number one is forward P ratio. Forward P ratio means uh, which uses future earning guidance rather than trailing figures. Trailing figures means historical figures, past figures, and forward P ratio consider the future earning guidance rather than the trailing figures, sometimes called earning price to estimated price to earning. So this forward looking indicator is useful for comparing current earnings to future earnings and helps provide a clearer picture of what earnings will look like. So without changes and other accounting adjustment, however, there are inherent problem with the forward P metric. Namely, companies could underestimate earnings in order to beat the estimate P when the next quarter earnings are announced. Other company may overstate the estimate and later adjust it going into their next earning announcement. So this can happen that company can show their estimated or forward P ratio higher than what is it will be, and some companies may state underestimate or they can underestimate their P ratio because of achieving that target. So these two things can happen, and in that case the forward P ratio can be misleading. Next type is TTMP ratio, that is trailing 12-month P ratio. Means it is the uh, summation, or it is based on past 12 months. So we have seen the TTM, that is the trailing 12-month P ratio. The trailing P relies on past performance by dividing the current share price by the total EPS earning over the past 12 months. So it's the most uh, P metric because it's the most objective, assuming the company reported earnings accurately. Some investors prefer to look at the trailing P ratio because they don't trust another individual's earning estimate, but the trailing P also has its share of shortcomings. Namely, a company's past performance doesn't signal future behavior. Means suppose now COVID situation is going on, and due to this situation the past P ratio or past 12 P ratio can be a lower. So in the future, future P ratio can be higher. So here the short the problem of TTM or problem of trailing 12-month P ratio can happen. So these things you should keep in mind. So not only depend on TTMP but also forward P ratio, and you should consider all other fundamental parameters with the P ratio. One research on Nifty P is done. Nifty P means the index P, so we can consider index P also. One research conducted by Economic Times and Money Control. Exactly, I don't know who conducted, but these out of these two have conducted the research. Uh, they have taken 18 years data and concluded that when P ratio of Nifty is 21, then it came into the overbought zone and it is corrected. The price of Nifty decreased, and when Nifty is below 16, then it is at oversold zone and Nifty increased. We can see this graph is not exactly given by them, but just I found it, and we observed that the Nifty is behaving the according to same research. So you can say see in the 2004 and 5 it is 14.81, then it is increased to 22.15 in 2007 and 8, then you will observe that the in 2008-9 it is came again down. So when P ratio above the 21, it is again decreased, and it is now 16.26 in 2008-9. If you see, then again it is increased and got into overbought zone, that is 22.81. Then again it is decreased in 2012-13. In 2017-18 again it is increased, and still it is increasing in 2019-20. So some part of this research proven by this graph. Here you can see in the first table, that is when Nifty P is lower, that is less than 14, the highest return given by the Nifty. If it is between 14 to 16, the returns, 3 years return given 112%. And when the P ratio is higher and higher, the returns given by the Nifty are decreasing. So we can conclude that when the P ratio is higher, then the return of the Nifty is lesser, and when the Nifty P is higher, less than 40 or about less than 20, then the return given by the Nifty are higher. So here the relationship between P ratio and returns given by the Nifty we can observe here. Some other conclusion also we can have here. When EPS, earning per share, increases, if price increases faster than earning per share, P tends to rise above the industry average. It could mean either good performance or overvaluation. If EPS increases faster than price, then P tend to fall below the industry average. It could either mean poor performance or undervaluation. And in case of price decreases, P tend to fall below the industry average. It could either mean poor performance or undervaluation. In case of EPS decreases, P tends to rise above the industry average. It could mean good performance or overvaluation. If price decreases faster than the EPS, P tends to fall below the industry average. It could either mean poor performance or undervaluation. And if EPS decreases faster than the price, P tend to rise above the industry average, and it could mean good performance or overvaluation. So if you have a little bit confusion in this table, then you can pause and read it silently and think over it. And if you don't understand this, leave it, and later on you will get the idea about this. So friends, that is from my side in this lecture. Thanks for watching. Write your name in the comment box, and see you in the next lecture. Thanks.